episode of Brave Sailing, we spend more time on land with other sailing families, enjoying festivals and parades in Cairns, meeting some of the wildlife, and moving further north to the popular town of Port Douglas. So after Reef tried snorkelling with an actual mask and snorkel instead of just goggles, we said goodbye to Fitzroy Island and motored towards the Port of Cairns. So we're having a bit of a chuckle this morning about having left Fitzroy and coming into Cairns. We've had sort of like bullets of wind up to 30 knots. It's been quite a choppy trip, but we're just going to have to give way to HMS Launceston. It's like coming down the channel, and we're just thinking, oh yeah, no, I think we best let them go. We'll just sidle in behind them and get a bit of an escort up the channel. Lyndon is giving Reef some instruction on how to release the plane. This is a serious business. Here they come. Oh my goodness, that did so well.
Cool, and you've just got two standard motors on there, whereas Lyndon's got brushless motors.
And he's got two motors that you pull up the top of the
So dishes never stop?
No.
Dishes still have to happen?
That's what happens when you have 4 children.
What, the dishes never end?
Yeah.
I would have thought that I'd never had to do dishes again.
You don't usually have to do the dishes.
No, I've got that well organised actually.
Yeah, you do dishes like once every 2 months.
Not even that.
Yeah.
It's been pretty windy here in Cairns, but we're making the most of being here and we're off to the Cairns Festival.
Dave's been talking about a croc hunt this morning. We've seen in the Cairns marina area there's croc sighting jet ski tours, which just doesn't make sense. But so Dave's all enthused now to go looking for crocodiles in our inflatable dinghy.
All we found was a black-necked stork.
We met Kat Nirvana and Argo for what we affectionately referred to as a school excursion. We bussed to the Cairns gondola, which took us high above the rainforest canopy.
Class of 2022!
Finally, we stopped at the small township of Corunda, where we walked through their butterfly aviary. platypus learned?
Butterflies have scales.
Yes.
Which makes them...
Fish.
A scenic train returned us back to Cairns.
So we have weekly chats with our classes, and they're called Huinga Akos, and it's a great way to get together with our classes, meet all of the kids that we're working with or just doing the same work with us overseas. Like my classmates are in Japan, Saudi Arabia, Fiji, they're all around the world, and we come together every week to meet each other, discuss our days and talk with the teacher. And Zephy's on one right now with her class, and we'll go see what it looks like.
Okay, so let's go through. Alice, have you been contacted? Yes, okay, so you know what you're doing. Holly, do you know what you're doing? Have you been contacted and know what you're doing?
Meanwhile, Reef visited with Hayley from Cat Nirvana to help her seed some herbs. He has a passion for plants and thought he could share his knowledge for best results. Together with the other boats, we discovered the Zoom Dome in Cairns. We strapped ourselves into harnesses for the high ropes course and visited all the animals. All too soon, our time in Cairns was over. So with brisk winds behind us, we sailed further north to Port Douglas. Well, as it turns out, Port Douglas has not been the easiest place for us to anchor. There's not actually a lot of room in between the moorings and other anchored boats, and we're trying to stay out of the way of other people's swing room. So we've put a stern anchor out already. That was a bit of a challenge. Now we're just going to tie off to the mangroves as well. But we do have this moored boat right next to us, so we just need to try and pull our stern away from him, and hopefully that just keeps us all in a sort of safe turning zone. We won't turn anymore, but at least then we're nice and snug up against the mangroves, which does mean mosquitoes for us this evening, and we just have to be aware of crocodiles as well. Just a couple of things to be aware of. So this is how we've ended up. Dave tied us off to the mangroves, so hopefully that should hold us in. It's certainly not attractive, these mangroves. We've had lots of midges all over us this morning. Haven't spotted a crocodile yet, but it seems like we might need to go on an actual trip to try and find some. It'd be so much more convenient if it just swam on by. But I guess that itself is a matter of opinion as well, isn't it? So we're sitting on Cat Nirvana and we have come here for Zeffie's English. We're going to hold a debate with a couple of their kids, and Hayley is going to join us, and Zeffie and Priya and Dave. So our moot that we're going to be arguing is we don't need the monarchy in this modern world. So there's a group that are the affirmatives and a group that are negatives, and let's see how they get on.
It's a lot about traditions and culture, and it's something that it's our identity.
We have a political system to do that.
Yeah. But before the king and the queen were people...
So we think each country should be to their own, like, okay.
They're just their blood, which means they're just straight into it. They don't get a choice, and we don't get a choice.
Part of our tradition and wars we fought together, back to back.
I feel that our countries don't need the monarchy because we want to create our own identities.
So I don't know that that's a really valid point. But I digress. The monarchy. We really do need the monarchy.
Priya said that we get a lot of our cultural identity from the British and the monarchy. But that is a complete lie.
And people don't always want positive news. They want to hear about someone else's drama.
And I believe that we need a choice.
To wrap this up, we need the monarchy in our day-to-day lives. It's a ripping of our media and history. Thank you.
Well done.
Next we met these fine people, Toss and Jen, parents of Dennis who stayed with us in the Solomon Islands. They introduced us to Port Douglas ice cream. Looking back on Port Douglas, 4 Mile Beach. Looking out towards Snapper Island, named as such because it looks like the head of a crocodile. That's very in keeping with our region right now. Next time on Brave Sailing, we visit Mosman Gorge in the Daintree Rainforest, stop at the Low Isles, anchor at Cooktown, and enjoy Lizard Island.